Lung health and proper breathing are critical for athletes. They play a crucial role in delivering oxygen to the body, and during exercise, the demand for oxygen increases significantly.
Lung function is such an essential part for an athlete's performance because of the situation where you need to deliver oxygen through to the actual muscles. We have anaerobic and aerobic respiration happening within the muscles. The difference comes down to the fact there that if you actually have oxygen, you actually create up to 36 to 38 ATP cells, which is actually the energizing part of the actual muscle tissue or the cells. When they actually break apart, it results in the fact that it releases energy within the cell itself. Without oxygen, you actually only create two. The waste products for the two processes with oxygen is actually carbon dioxide, which we actually then breathe out through the lungs to remove carbon from the actual tissue. Without oxygen, you actually create lactic acid or ethanol within the actual muscle, which is the burning state that we actually feel when we actually lack oxygen being delivered to the actual muscle tissue. What we've actually found through research is it's not only essential to actually deliver oxygen through optimal lung capacity through to the actual circulatory system and to the tissue, but also to remove the carbon dioxide as efficiently and effectively as possible to actually remove carbon or lactic acid from the actual tissue within the muscle. As we start short breathing through exercise itself, then the problem comes down to the fact that without optimal lung capacity and airway clearance, the resultant factor is that we actually are unable to remove as much carbon as possible, which actually results in the build-up of lactic acid more within the tissue, and the removal of the lactic acid takes a lot longer process. This limits our sporting performance and also limits our ability to recover faster from that process. That's why it's essential to have our lungs functioning and optimal lung capacity at peak performance.
Athletes, especially those who participate in endurance sports such as long-distance running, cycling, or swimming, may be particularly impacted by lung function. These sports require sustained high-intensity exercise, which can place a significant strain on the respiratory system. During intense exercise, the respiratory muscles are working harder to draw in more oxygen, and the lungs are working harder to remove carbon dioxide. If the athlete's lung function is impaired by environmental factors, for instance, it can limit their ability to maintain the high intensity required for their sport.
Some of the environmental conditions which actually can affect our sporting performance and our lung health include things like pollution, dust storms, bushfires, anything there where the actual air quality is not as optimal of about 50 parts per million. We also have a situation in relation to higher altitudes, where it's not so much the amount of oxygen, but the actual air pressure that actually affects the ability to deliver oxygen to the cells and CO2 from the cells. This can result in suboptimal performance there as an athlete and reduce the ability to actually breathe easier and actually perform at peak performance, gaining that extra edge over the competition.
Maintaining good lung function and respiratory health is essential for athletes to perform at their best. That's where the better breathing sport comes in.
The product actually uses vibrations to actually improve oxygen delivery and CO2 delivery into and out of the lungs and to the actual circulatory system to then actually be provided to the muscles to reduce lactic acid buildup within the tissues. How you use the device is you actually take a deep breath in, hold it for 2 to 3 seconds to allow your lungs to fill up with oxygen, then blow out a consistent breath over 3 to 5 seconds. This is to be done 2 to 3 times a day, 2 times an hour before bed to improve your sleep, in the morning to improve energy levels, and 30 minutes before a workout to actually help to open up all the airways, provide optimal lung capacity and optimal clearance within the lungs.
The better breathing sport has been improving breathing performance for thousands of athletes across the globe who are looking to work out longer, recover faster, and gain valuable seconds over their competitors.
When you talk about sport, football and cricket, we warm up, we make sure that we don't want to tear muscles, we don't want to get injured. And now we're thinking, hang on, we're not preparing our lungs, we're not preparing the way that we breathe. So if we warm our lungs up, our lung capacity, enhance our lung capacity, it's going to make you a better player.
I've always had the edge because I do pre-activation and then after I do post-workout, massage, you name it. And to play till I was 39 was because of that differentiation around the way I recover and the way I prepare. I warm up my lungs the same way we stretch and we warm up our bodies.
It's the little 1%. When I first started using this last year, what I noticed, I could blow it for about 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And now I could do 20 seconds straight.
We've had ultra marathon runners who, for fun, actually run 160 kilometres and take the device with them to maintain optimal lung capacity, and have found that they're actually able to perform and run faster and further because of the ability that their actual lungs are open up. It doesn't matter whether you're an elite athlete or someone who's just trying to improve their actual running performance or their workout times. The product has the capability to improve workout times, reduce recovery times, improve energy levels and sleep levels, and in general, health and wellness and prevention over a period of time.
Globally recognized and awarded, the innovators behind the better breathing sport are hoping to change how athletes think about breathing.